Hi there, Daphne here. Thank you for sending in your next essays. I know you've got your exam tomorrow, so this is really exciting. Let's look at letters, and you talked to me about greetings. Okay, no, you cannot use the same for every greeting. This is a really important thing to make sure you're super confident about. This is correct. So, dear sir or madam, yours faithfully. Yes. Okay. Always, always, always. If, let me just put the options down here for you. If it's dear Mr. White, full stop, White, comma, the ending is yours sincerely. Always. Okay, this is what we call conventions. So it always has to be this. If it's dear Ben, like your friend, you have a choice here. You could put, if it's a really good friend, you could put with love, or you could put best wishes, or you could put slightly more formal, kind regards. If that's someone you don't know so well, there's different levels of intimacy, if you like, or friendliness on all this. And so obviously if you're writing to a friend, you might go, see you soon, and then with love. Okay, but for the exam, I make sure you're really happy on these different levels. If you look on our website, if you have time to listen to any podcasts, go on to the general letters, and there's lots and lots of great podcasts or advice about this. It is something that is important. You don't want to lose sort of silly marks on something like that. So, okay, this is a formal letter, exactly right. So you've got dear sir, madam, you've got yours faithfully, absolutely good. I'm writing this letter in relation to my suitcase, which I lost while travelling. Yeah, or you could do a passive here, which was lost. You didn't lose it, they did, which was lost. Immediately you could get in a lovely passive verb while travelling. Yep, and which I lost, and hoping to receive. So this for me is too informal for this style of letter. Keep it super formal. I am hoping um, to receive from help from you. Yeah. So keep it formal. You can see the difference between hoping to receive and I am hoping to receive. My flight number. Oops, sorry. My flight number was and seat number. Since the flight was further flying to Spain, by the time I realised my missing luggage, the flight had already left from Berlin. Okay, since the flight was flying on, your flying needs to become here. Flying on further to Spain, so just that word order. By the time I realised I'm missing luggage, the flight had already left from Berlin. Very good work on tenses. Wow. Realised about my Yep, very nice work on tenses. Not sure if this distinct feature of having a portrait of rough. Okay. Keep it more formal. The case could or can clearly be identified by the distinct. Yeah, that's a great feature, but keep it formal. So not sure if this, way too informal. This level of formality is really important in here. This is exactly what the examiner is looking for. The case can be identified by this distinct and then a feature of having, yeah, on the back, and then you need which will help you in identifying it quickly. And it also has my name on it. I mean, I love the fact that you're being very ambitious. You're really pushing yourself on these difficult structures, but keep that formality. That's the most important message here. Apart from a few clothes and books, I have one business proposal drafted on a chart inside the suitcase, which I'll be needing. You don't need it. You need something. I'll be needing next week for my presentation. Please help me in tracking my suitcase on an urgent basis. And I've enclosed my contact details. Okay, well done. Very good. I await your reply. Now, you've got that right in not awaiting, but you direct object. You don't need await for, just await. I await your reply. Yeah, very good letter. Just a few technical things in there, and just keep that level formal. Okay. I think this is probably one of the hardest essays, especially it's difficult language, it's difficult concept, and I think to do this in 40 minutes, fantastic. So nowadays, some argue democracy is under its biggest threat since inception. Some argue that due to capital markets, the electorate's lost control. What do you think? Okay. Over the past few decades, many countries have been adopting democratic rules. Again, direct object. We don't adopt to, we adopt immediately. Democratic rule in order to maintain peace, harmony, and also support the citizens' viewpoint on, don't need that, just on, okay, to one or the other, you don't need both, to overcome economic and development issues. Lovely. However, I feel that the government tends to fall. Okay, you can either be specific about one government, maybe where you are, or governments in general, your choice. Tends to fall under great pressure to align with citizens' decisions. Now, citizens' decisions, we're assuming more than one. There are many issues, and this essay will portray the reasons behind the failure from the government's standpoint, along with a supportive example. Okay, grammar, I shall, and this essay will. We don't use shall very often, it's quite old-fashioned now, but it is only used in I shall or we shall. It's only used in the first person of the singular or plural, otherwise you use will. Firstly, there's ample evidence that people's democracy, now you can say the people's democracy because it's quite specific. You've introduced it here and you can have the, because now we know exactly what you're talking about because you've introduced it, has been hampered due to government's inability to take decisions which are tangential with their viewpoints. You can just use a pronoun there because we know what you're referring back to, which is people. It's just neater on the coherence. This is mainly because of the various international high economic powers. That's just a plural, not an apostrophe. Remember, the apostrophe is only if it belongs to someone. Otherwise, it's just a plural, forcing government to undertake decisions which are more in tandem with the country's profit than in relation to the people's choice. Wow. Many decisions, such as an increase in tax rates. Now here you need a comma because it's a relative clause. In order to meet the economic target, decisions have led to numerous nationwide protests, which you're in the present perfect, keep going, have ended up. So here, have led to, and you're still in the present perfect. So you need to repeat that have. Have eventually ended up in incurring huge losses on properties and even human life. Hence, democracy has been at stake due to various decisions taken by country officials, mainly because of their ignorance of their citizens' viewpoints. I think ignorance of something, and I think you can put in there for emphasis. But goodness me, I couldn't write this in English. It's absolutely fantastic. You've got incredibly good control on your writing, and that's what's so impressive. The vocab's obviously lovely. The grammar's flowing very smoothly. I'm finding very little issues here. It's lovely. Secondly, corruption. Now, I would say often. It's not always. Yeah. So you can use these little techniques, just distancing. It's quite academic writing. Secondly, often corruption's been playing. Has been playing, maybe has played. I don't think you need the ing there. I just go has played a big role in tarnishing the whole meaning of democracy. Although government officials strive hard to maintain, do we need to repeat democracy, this concept, or these policies? So rather than repeating democracy, just try and think of another word among citizens, because of the few corrupt officials, the decisions, plural. Oh, hang on. There. undertaken by them, rule. So if I'm going to have that plural, I need to have a plural verb. Rule out people's chances to channel their voice. You could put here the democratic voice, and eventually rule out. So channel, okay, and rule out. This has to be an infinitive as well. It's the same as we had here. The control of this sentence, decisions undertaken by them, rule out this and rule out that. Okay. Now you've got rule out, and maybe I would have diminishes instead of repeating rule out. Okay, so that should be an infinitive, and then whatever this is should as well. For example, a corrupt government official might favour some powerful people to evade taxes, yes, or might aid. Either favour people, full stop, or aid people to do something, which could have a direct impact on local citizens who diligently pay them. I don't need to repeat this. Again, this pronoun referencing. Oh, no. Sorry, it should be that. But just put them. So it helps the coherence. We're avoiding the repetition, and we're just using the word them rather than taxes again, because you've got it here. Therefore, such officials have been in the forefront of compromising. Absolutely, very good writing. From the arguments given, I firmly believe economic powers and unprincipled people. Unprincipled, now you've got people or a lot, maybe authorities, in charge of managing public interests. So you should have a comma here, because if you look at this, this is just a little extra phrase. To be the main threats jeopardising genuine democracy. Whew, wow! I mean, that's amazingly good. It really is. I'm so glad you're doing your exam tomorrow. You are writing brilliantly, really, really well. I'm very, very happy with all this work you've done. It's excellent. That's a super hard essay, but what a great finish. Just take a moment to review the letter stuff. Don't let yourself down on that. You should be scoring super high marks on that. If you can do this in the exam, you will do really well. Good luck. Get lots of rest today and really go for it tomorrow. Fantastic. Thank you so much.